Second Jumbo decides to retreat, seeing its brother die, taking its frustration and anger out on its own building, which is kind of bad actually because that building offers them cover. American infantry now moving into that zone. We still have that mortar up. Honestly, a Jumbo could take a shot at that now straight through that wall. It would be pretty easy for it to penetrate. We have smokes being dropped on the Jumbo though. The Jumbo, which is still being repaired. All the infantry decide to scatter apart from one brave little soldier who's trying to hop in the tank. He gets in there just in time. Crew injured twice. I don't know if he's still alive. I think he is though, because we got some green text indicating that that tank is occupied. It's still green on the map. That guy, oh my god, he's still alive. He got in there just in the nick of time. That's freaking awesome. But anyway, we've got some sneaky play happening here. It looks like someone occupied this machine gun and then initiated the self-destruct, and surely that cannot be the Japanese player. Surely that has to be the American players capturing that and initiating self-destruct. It wouldn't make sense for them to destroy their own machine gun in their own side of the map. We have infantry occupying this, or what's left of this building anyway, which will offer a slight bit of protection against the AA gun and the machine gun. We have another Sherman, not a Jumbo this time, just an ordinary M4A3 Sherman. There's also a lot of infantry from Deus moving onto the right hand side, and we've seen a lot of infantry on the map over this side, and they've all been destroyed trying to move up, I think. Most likely by that mortar, which is still alive, and we've got a second... again, as soon as I mention that freaking mortar, we've got artillery landing straight on this tank. Infantry, well, the crew member this time don't seem to notice it, unfortunately. It only took one of that artillery strikes to hit, and it completely destroys the hull and makes the tank go defy the laws of physics as well. But it's a shame. It's a real shame. Anyway, we're seeing a lot of medium tanks from the American players. We even have a bite coming in from Bulladyn right here. It takes a shot and the guys are ejected. They're still alive. The bike seems still operational. These Shermans could really help take out those emplacements. Maybe the Sherman is going to engage that damn freaking mortar truck behind that building. It could also help out take this AA gun out as well. All these static emplacements really shouldn't be surviving that long with these tanks around. They don't have any sandbags in front of them. It should be easy pickings. Whether or not they see something I don't see, or they don't want to risk it or something, I don't see any sort of capable anti-tank weaponry that can take out those Shermans from head-on at the moment. And the longer they wait to take those out, the more difficult it is going to be later on, or the more chance heavy armor is going to appear, or AT guns are going to appear in the center. Anyway, as for this hill, it seems to be holding up pretty well on the right-hand side. Seems to be being probed from Bulladyn right now. This is exactly what the Japanese need. They need to acknowledge that this area is very lightly defended. They could even sneak around an AT guy and take a shot at the Shermans and the Jumbo as well if they get around to it. Unfortunately, though, we're getting some infantry from the Gaza Strip as moving into position and seeing that there is some scouts ahead on that zone. So they know that that area is going to be attacked for sure, or it would at least make sense for them to attack that area. They're saying, I don't have any infantry in this area, and he knows I don't have anything in this area. I wonder if he's going to attack. Anyway, we just saw some artillery arrive for Deus drone on that far right hand side. Going to be helping take out the emplacements on the hill. And maybe fire at the mortar truck, although they, like I said, they really don't need artillery for the mortar trucks. They have what it takes to take them out. We're still seeing a small flow of infantry on this left hand side from Bulladyn. It looks like he got hit by an artillery shot there. And on the right hand side, Perez sitting upon his hill with a light Kidnu tank, which surely enough is going to get hit by artillery very shortly. Still US Marines around on this zone, and a Croc appears. Croc with its double barrel, one for its flame attack, one for its ordinary HE-IAP APCR rounds. Of course, that's going to charge, lead the charge. I don't want to see that get hit by something. It needs to really find out what's on that hill before it goes running in recklessly. Of course, the alternate solution is just to frickin' fire whatever you think that might be there. It does look like we had an AT gun there. It seems to be discrewed now, completely destroyed. That's good news for that crocodile. I don't want to see that blow up before it can at least flame about 500 squads. I always love to see burning stuff, running around crazy like, ah! Always a pleasant sight. Anyway, the left-hand point has been captured. It's actually being captured. Bulladyn is there in that zone, 75% right now. Infantry moving in for the Gaza strippers, trying to reclaim that zone, but this SNLF soldier, rather, even more elite than the paratroopers. He's holding his ground. Just a few more. There we go. He has it. He has the zone. What a trooper that guy is. Even calling in some artillery support, but now he's dead, unfortunately. But it is 4 points to 1, and that's going to tick up for them. It is in their benefits. Even though they ain't going to hold it for long, it's still better than nothing. It's forced the Americans to respond to this action and run into that zone. We've still got artillery landing down here, so these 4 troopers are in a little bit of danger. Right hand side now seeing a little bit of action. We're having soldiers move in, and the Sherman is trying to move around and get a good shot on something. By the looks of it, doesn't seem like it had any goal in mind, just, you know, randomly rolling around trying to find an opportunity. It did find one opportunity, it took something out, but in all honesty, I don't think these Shermans have actually had that much of an impact on this battlefield other than trying to clear out emplacements, which they haven't really done to the fullest. We've got a huge assault coming on this right hand side right now. A lot of infantry moving in as well as the croc, but there's a flak in the perfect position to take out the croc. Also, the Kinu is helping assist. It looks like we also have an AT rifle pinging away at the front armor, but that's really no match for the Kinu and the flak's firepower. Type 92 now trying to pull the flak away. Unfortunately gets hit by artillery before it can get away. The flak's still alive, still operational, but there's no crew on it. It appears they need to get that out of there before it's completely destroyed by artillery. It's so close. There it is. I love the sound of artillery in this game. We're even getting a second M114 howitzer from Gaza Strippers. Gaza Strippers has a lot of mechanized stuff on the field. Deus drone did have a lot of infantry. He's lost even more infantry right now. That right hand side is so weakly defended. They could probably use that bike in the center to help defend it, but I think that's a little bit too risky to go and get. More infantry popping up from Deus, as well as a second M19 and an M45 Maxon. Static emplacements for you. We've not really seen static emplacements for the American players at the moment. I've seen a light AT gun and the Maxon so far. I don't think we've seen any machine guns. So they've been fairly mobile. By the way, if you haven't already, check out the InukiTV Steam group. Every single time I upload one of these games, I automatically make an announcement saying that the game is up and ready for viewing. It's a lot easier than just keep on checking my webpage, my YouTube channel that is, to see if I've uploaded anything. I'll just announce it on the Steam group. So if that suits you, check that out, sign up. It's free to join, obviously it's public, although if you give me money I would not say no. Anyway, intermission over. M19 blasting the middle ground. I'm not sure what it's blasting exactly. I saw no one died there, but it's firing nonetheless. There pounds one guy straight in the hammer of the face. But we've got artillery landing right on top of the M19, ejecting 1 or 2 crew members. Still trying to reverse out the way, pulling evasive maneuvers. It's working, it's getting out of there, it's going. Hell yeah, I think it's in the safe zone now. It stops. And we had a missile launched, a freaking missile. That means there's a, I can't even remember what the unit's called now. Ha-ro, ha-go, ha-no, ha-so. It's one of them, surely. It begins with ha, because that seems to be the favorite sort of sound for the Japanese tanks. Finally, the Jumbo Sherman tank pounds its way through that brick wall and hits the mortar truck. That's been alive the entire freaking game. It's long due its death. Anyway, we've got infantry now, which can now seize that advantage and hop into what the hell's going on here. Perez chilling out, relaxing on top of his Kinu tank, which has yet to be destroyed by the artillery on the right-hand side. But as I was saying, we've got American infantry now moving into the central zone. It looks like they're finally capturing. Deus drone overextending. He's moving infantry straight into Perez's. I'm sure it wasn't an intentional trap. But Perez was left in front and to the right of those 3 dudes advancing. They had no chance of surviving. And now he's lacking infantry in the center once again. We have another squad moving up, though, to hold that area from the Japanese, which are surely moving into the area now. We have a few Japanese soldiers in sight. Remember, the fog of war is on, and I can only see what the Americans can see, which is... okay, it's not bad, but it's no real observer replay system. But we'll make do for the InukiTV tournament, because that's all we've got. But it's still exciting nonetheless. M19 continuing to fire on any advancing infantry, fully destroying this building. It's completely gone now. No cover for the Americans there. They're crawling into the zone slowly. They've been split into 2 teams of 4, although one team's already taken 2 casualties. But they are holding onto that center, and that's all they need to do. It's up to the Japanese to retaliate on this one, and I think the left-hand point for the Americans seems like the best target to take at the moment, especially if they can get a few tanks around there. They can get some excellent side shots, but obviously bringing those tanks up would alert them. I think they'll be alerted to those tanks way too soon. We've got artillery, counter-artillery rather, firing, well, obviously on their artillery. That's what counter-artillery is. Hits one of the trucks that brought in this M114 artillery piece in the first place, but now one dude gets back up and recruits it. M8, the hero, is coming to save the day. It doesn't pick it up. No, it just drives right by it. I'll shoot down any artillery that's incoming. Yeah, that's totally it. Another missile. It looks like it isn't the Harogonota Osoa Malata. It's just that 200mm artillery, which people carry around, and, well, not just casually carry around. It's a hefty piece of material. But, you know, it's the one that they push around, not the big giant freaking missile launcher. In fact, whatever happened to, you know, in the original Men of War campaign, the Germans had this super huge freaking missile launcher. Why isn't that in this game? I would so love to see that as like the super special unit for the Germans, because that's just awesome, man. That was absolutely loved that in that mission. Also, they had that it was the same mission as you had the naval turret thing, giant naval cannon. That was freaking awesome. I want to call in that. That should just be airdropped or something stupid. Okay, yeah, maybe not that stupid. We'll leave that out because that does logically make no sense. Anyway, the Maxon's being fired at, and the Maxon is not returning fire. It seems to be derping. Doesn't seem to realise it's being under fire. So that's going to get decrewed very shortly unless it returns fire or someone comes to its assistance. M8 moving into the centre field for Gaza strippers, assisting 3 guys hiding behind a sandbag line. Also, a mortar, very forward position. Another missile launched. I'm actually not sure if it is one of the big giant missile launchers or the small missile launchers. Either way, it's a missile. It freaking hurts if you get close to it. That's all that matters. Jumbo tank firing, helping out the Maxons. Maxons is decrewed. We need to find one little brave soldier. There he is. There's that brave little soldier who recrews it. I also noticed the positioning. It's inside a crater. It's getting a little bit of protection. Deus drone with what I think is the first machine gun of the day for the American forces. Planting straight onto that central zone. It's fairly forward. It doesn't need to be this forward. One soldier takes a hit. He turns into a puddle of blood. Artillery firing on it. Not decrewed yet. It's surviving. It's holding ground. Luckily enough, those sandbags are proving useful right now, but in the patch, I do believe they won't be as useful as what we've just seen. Oops, just hit my leg on the table. Still infantry battling on this right-hand side. We can also see a bazooka soldier lying in wait behind the building. Hopefully, some vehicle comes up. Not this M8. That's a friendly vehicle. Don't want to fire on that. That comes to the assistance, though. This looks pretty damn cool. Reminiscent of the original Men of War games I do. Well, the normal Men of War games, the introduction video where the M8 comes and drives in off-screen, assisting the infantry firing on the Japanese, strangely enough. Somehow the Japanese captured this zone, or at least neutralized it anyway. We've got more US infantry moving in to try and maintain hold, and that they really do need these points. It's 77 to 31 at the moment in favor of the Japanese. The Japanese so far have been playing a very defensive game, and now they need to be aggressive, either on the left or right hand side, I believe, because a lot of the forces are concentrated in the middle. A lot of tanks pointing in that direction. Artillery hitting the AT gun. much needed AT gun right now, and here's that 150